Sonya and Sacha, for real.
I'm pumped to the core. Pumped to the core for this one. This is like our big guest. And we're bringing in some good people because we have been so lucky. We've been traveling to New York City. Well, I think, what have we done? 7 or 8 trips in the last 2 years? We've done a lot of these trips, and when we go, we get to meet the most incredible people. And we're a collector. You know those Nintendo cards? That's what we're doing with people. We're collecting them. We go
89, baby.
Yeah. Okay. So we're just going around collecting them. And so what we want to be able to do is bring one of these pieces of gold they've got look, we just love listening to their accent. I mean, just the fact of listening makes me miss it, because we actually call New York our second home. So I'm kind of have this craving inside of me that we've got to get back there really quickly. Absolutely. They're going to open up our borders, and Sonya and I will be at the airport with our bags, backpack, we'll have,
let me on the plane.
Yeah, I won't have enough time to shave my legs. I'll be on that plane with hairy legs. I just can't wait to get there. Like, it won't
Doesn't matter.
So we've got this big collection. We're going to give you our gold today. This is our first one. Okay, this is DJ Big Brooklyn. He has a resume that will blow your mind, because firstly, he grew up with Jay-Z. Can you believe? Do you know whose birthday it is today? Do you guys know?
Jay-Z's.
No.
Oh.
It's Beyonce's birthday. His wife.
Oh, hey, B. Queen B. Yeah. Happy birthday, Queen B.
Queen B's birthday. So I thought that it was very appropriate that Brooklyn is in the house here. This guy is amazing. He has worked with, is the headlining DJ at 4040, which is Dazy's Club. He grew up with him at the Macy Projects, and he is right here. He's the kind of guy that you walk over the bridge for to go to Brooklyn, but you bring him back into Manhattan. Can we please give a massive round of applause for our first guest? New York Minute. This is our New York Minute.
This is our new segment.
It's about that time for a New York Minute with Sonya and Sacha.
Yeah, for real. And guess whose voice that is? None other than DJ Big Brooklyn, our brother from New York City. Woo!
Clap it up.
Oh,
good day.
Don't kill us with that.
What accent are you talking about?
That was pretty good, brother. That was pretty good accent. Most people go English, but that was good. Yeah. You've been hanging around us a lot. Yeah.
Just say the word Manhattan. Just say Manhattan.
Manhattan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so we just couldn't wait to get you on. You were supposed to be with us a little while ago, and then that didn't work out so well. So we got you back in. This is a special day for us because we're bringing a little bit of our second home here to Australia. This is our brand new station, our brand new show. You have inspired us to create this segment called New York Minute that we're going to have on every single week. So you are like the pioneer, the trailblazer, but you have the most incredible presence and energy and a pretty cool job. So can you tell us about how this all happened? How did you end up at the club, DJing at Jay-Z? Like, for most people in a
For most people that are going to say this, the fact that you have Jay-Z as your boss, what is that? What does that feel like?
It's I can tell you that he's very business. He's a business guy, so I guess it would be like working for anybody who's about their business. He's inspiring, I'll tell you that, because it's like every time you turn around, he's doing something different. And I know lately he's been doing his charitable contributions have been more publicly known. But I can tell you that prior to what's happening now, that he's always been charitable. Sending kids to college. I remember he used to send trucks Thanksgiving, Christmas time to the projects that we used to live in, and just give stuff out to the free. It got to the point where it was a little too big, so he had to change locations. But he's a good guy in my estimation. He's pretty personable. It's one of those deals where I guess because I know him, like what seems like a big deal to most is not really a big deal to me. So I don't know. You might need to ask somebody outside, of the situation, that question. But I can tell you he's been good. He's been good on my end.
Yes, but hang on, let's go
Definitely.
back. You both came from the exact same place. Like your mums know each other kind of thing, isn't that right?
Yeah, yeah. They now we live maybe 50 feet from each other. You know what I mean? My building was, here. I'm doing all these symbols like you guys can see me, but my building was here. His was, right over there. Like I could look out my window and see his building. We used to play ball together and stuff like that. Um, it was we grew up in a different time where it was a lot more, going outside, as it were, compared to now where, a lot more people are on the internet, at least prior to the last 6 months. But so, there was a sports connection, that sort of deal.
So cut to these days where you're working in the club, and I know you started out at 4040 as the security, and you've got
Yes.
this fantastic, club where there are superstars that just show up there all the time. So can you tell us about some of the great personalities? I know you've got a story about one of my favorites. You know that question where you say, "Who would you like to sit at a dinner party with?" I want to have Barak there. So tell us about when Barak came into the club.
Well, at the time that Barak came, it was on the second run for the presidency after the first 4 years, and he did a fundraiser there. At that point, I was actually I would DJ early in the night and then go do security. But this particular night, it was all security. It was actually just me and one other person that they picked from the club. Everybody else was Secret Service, city police. Like it was like 10 different agencies. I never seen anything like it. It closed the streets down. Um, we had to leave our wallets, keys, phones, everything at the hotel. Like all the staff met at the hotel, and then we walked over to the club. It was a couple blocks away.
Mhm.
It was interesting because from what I've seen, as much as good as people think he is, he is.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
talking about Barack Obama. The
yeah.
lady who was his Secret Service uh his head of security, I guess you would call it. She was like, it was a female. She was like 5'3", 5'4", something like that. Stringy blonde hair in a ponytail, pantsuit. She looked like a gymnast or you know what I'm saying. But
Hmm.
when she opened her mouth, you knew exactly why she occupied that position. She spoke with a lot of authority. It was impressive. That's the word I'm looking for, because doing security, you're usually working with some 6'6" guys or whatever. But this woman was clearly qualified to do what she was doing, and basically I held down the staging area where he was giving his speech, and it was an awesome speech. Michelle wasn't there that night, but that's okay. Um, but because I was kind of looking forward to meeting Michelle, 'cause, it's Michelle.
Yeah.
Anyway, and you know what was funny? He made a joke about that. Jay and Beyonce was in the audience, and Beyonce's been scorching hot for the longest. Happy birthday, Miss B.
Hmm.
But at that point, like she was really, really like on the rise. And he in his speech he said something to the effect of, him and Jay-Z relate because their woman is more famous than them. Or you know what I'm saying? And
Oh.
it got a big laugh from everybody. But I mean, he's kind of right. At that moment, I mean, it doesn't diminish them, but they two popular women right now. And my favorite part of the night was when he was walking out. They, obviously, he was still a president, right? So obviously, they had a lot of different rules in place. And
Hmm.
one of the rules, they had all the staff, the kitchen staff, the wait staff. Like when he came out to speak, everybody had to go in the back, right? They weren't. It was like no knives or forks on the plates. Like they just handed out hors d'oeuvres. It was interesting. I never seen it before. But on his way out, we were gonna just walk him out. But as he was walking, he said, like, where's the staff? Like, where's everybody? And they explained to him that they were in the kitchen. He went in the kitchen and said hi to all the wait staff and took pictures with them. And it was like, if you didn't think, he was as good as you thought he was, it was that moment where it was like, all right, this is, it was a lot of grown people, a lot of grown tears in that night. It was very special. And he went on to win, and I like to think that I'm responsible for that.
Of course you are. You're listening to Sonya and Sacha for Real on Brimbank Live FM. This is our guest, DJ Big Brooklyn, who's a headlining DJ from the Jay-Z's 40/40 Club. What a story, Barak Obama. See, we think we know. We hope that they are like what we see in the media, and we hope that they're that good guy and that good person. And to hear that just makes my heart really happy, because he's the king of speakers as far as I'm concerned.
Well, Hillary on her run, she had a fundraiser there as well. But for that one, I was DJing. So that one, I had to provide the sounds, and I actually had Hillary Clinton dancing. But
what?
Hey,
again,
that's a new story.
What does Hillary Clinton dance like? Like,
a basic two-step.
Oh yeah. She's a shuffler. Yeah, side to side. Yeah, she's living in that zone. Okay.
It was nice. It was nice though. But working there on both sides, has been a blast. But as a DJ, even more so. DJ Grammy parties there. Tons of fundraisers. Like even there's even been like Republican fundraisers there. Like it's it's non-discriminate. We don't discriminate. And
okay. No one needs to see Trump dance the two-step. No one needs to see that.
No. Not him.
Not him. Not him.
Not him.
We have to go to a break, but we've got so many more stories to hear from you, DJ Big Brooklyn from New York City, our brother. So please stay with us. Will you hang around? Would you hang around until after the break?
Absolutely.
You're amazing.
Fantastic.
You're listening to the Sonya and Sacha for Real show, Brimbank Live on Live FM. We'll be back soon. Thank you so much for listening to Sonya and Sacha for Real on Brimbank Live. And we are introducing our brand new segment this week, which is called the New York Minute. Very first episode. I don't know where we go from here. We have the amazing DJ Big Brooklyn from New York City, who is the headlining resident DJ at Jay-Z's Club 40/40 in New York City. And we miss her. We miss New York City. It's so good to hear your voice, because you just represent everything that is good about that place to us. So thank you for joining us. Before, we were talking about Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton. And so who are the other people that have come into the club that the Australian people would know here?
Well, I can tell you, the easier question would be who hasn't. You know what I mean? Come to the club. I remember one time I was it was like a regular night, and I was just playing music, and one of the managers came over and told me that Michael Jackson's kids were in the building. I was like, oh, okay, well. That's a good time for a Michael Jackson trip, you said. So I played a couple of his songs, but as a DJ, even if you're gonna play a block set, as it were, of a certain artist or whatever, you have to be conscious of other people there, so you don't really want to overdo it. So I kind of bounced in and out. But the highlight of the night was when they were preparing to leave. Like they got down, they were downstairs, and the DJ booth is positioned downstairs, like right by one of the exits. So they came downstairs, and I had just played one of his songs, and then I switched and threw it back to some NSYNC. This was a weekday. It wasn't like a Friday turn up, Saturday turn up, time. So I switched and played some some old Backstreet Boys and NSYNC, and
Yeah.
mix that in. And they stood in front of the booth and they danced for like another 25 minutes before they walked out. And that situation happened to me twice. It happened with them, and then it happened with Rhianna one time. Like sometimes as a DJ, it's like you just get them, and that's always your goal, because in a crowd of people, you got people with different tastes and different songs that waiting to hear, as it were. And sometimes when you get them, like, you can tell. And I got Rhianna, like, right, she was right in front of the booth, and it was like boom, 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 and she stood there for like 20-25 minutes before she left and danced and stuff. So it was cool. It was real cool. But that's like a reoccurring thing there. It's a lot of folks, like, you name it.
I love
You know
how
what I
I
mean?
love
It's
how
in that
nonchalant you
building.
are about this. Like, it's like, Rhianna comes in and she was dancing in front of me for 25 minutes, and
That's a
Jay-Z's and
that's a
quick
Brooklyn thing.
just pops in.
That's a
Yeezy, comes down on a Tuesday. Like, just dropping the names. Like, we out here, we're going, what? Who is it? What? It's so freaking. It's amazing to us. Like, I mean, that's incredible to think that you would have.
Well, well, to be honest, the reason, I mean, that's kind of like my natural personality. Like, growing up in Brooklyn is kind of like, you could be a celebrity, but we kind of like, all right, and you know what I mean? And it's not to be disrespectful. That's just the way we are. But also, that's kind of the vibe of the club, because what we don't want to happen is, we don't want, the artists, whether it be an actor, singer, whatever, we don't want them to be uncomfortable there, or to feel like, they're gonna go there and get mobbed. So from the DJ to security to the servers, it's like, nobody's like handing them mixtapes and telling them, oh, I sing, and you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. So people could actually come there, enjoy themselves. If there's a game on, or a fight or something like that, or Super Bowl, whatever, watch a game, and then leave and go about their business. But the idea is to create an environment of fun, euphoria if possible, but comfortable. You know what I mean? It's like, because as a celebrity, like, most of them can't go anywhere, and when they go to a club, it's usually pandemonium. So we try to create an environment where it's chill, but they could turn up a little bit. I had Mary J Blige in there one time. That I'm a big Mary J Blige fan, and it was I think it was Angie Martinez's birthday. It was her birthday or her book release, or one of those things. But I was doing my thing, and I couldn't see them, but people kept coming to me telling, like, yo, Mary is going off. I was like, what? I was about to go up there, but I was like, no, I can't. I gotta play the music. So somebody told me put on a long song and go up there. I'm like, for what? Like, come on, man. Anyway, but that's it's I could literally talk all day, but I know I can't talk all day.
No, we want to hear your stories all the time, but we just also
bring
want
me
to
back.
know.
Then we'll do that. We'll do a part two when after you get through your run of New York people.
Well, we want to ask you, what's New York like now? What's happening there? I mean, the clubs are closed, right?
New York has been humbled, to say the least. It's like a place like Times Square, where 2:00 in the morning looks like 12 o'clock in the afternoon. It's so many people there, and even more people, because most folks enjoy all the lights and the flashiness or whatever, and the fact that stores are still open and stuff. It's just not that now. I would say it's less of a ghost town, if you want to call it that, than it was maybe 2 or 3 months ago. There's a lot more people, that some defiant, some just like, I don't care, I'm coming out. You know what I mean? And it's more people out, but it's not like it was. It's definitely not like it was. It's not that city that never sleeps. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It really isn't.
So what do you think is going to happen with the music scene, with the live music scene, and clubs in general? Like, what do you think will will actually be the way that we can be entertained and we can have some fun?
That is a very good question. Wow. I think clearly it depends on the progress that they make as far as, you know, the positive cases. The mayor and the governor, their approach seems to be, as long as we don't have a lot of reports, we'll start opening things up more.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
somehow they're starting with schools, which is what, but whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
That doesn't make sense to me, but all right, I get it. Anyway, as far as the entertainment scene, right now, the only thing really popping, if you want to call it that, is the restaurant scene, because you have you have some small, you know, like mom and pop restaurants that now are able to put seating out in the street where they may not have had any space for seating. Now, you know, they got space for seating, so they've been doing okay. But as far as a club situation, I that's like above my intellect. I can't see how that can happen, because in the club it is the very opposite of social distancing. You know what I'm saying? It is.
Yeah.
You know
Like,
what
I can't
mean?
imagine
So,
wearing a mask in a club.
right.
Like, how are you even gonna? How would that even work?
Except Halloween, we have really great Halloween parties.
Well, I saw that the gyms have reopened, but you have to wear a mask in the gym now in New York City. So if everybody is at the gym and sweating and, you know, all of that sort of thing, and they're sucking on their water bottles, it's really no different from what's happening in a club. Everyone's sweating and, you know, sucking on a vodka. So I guess it's, you know, surely we can get back to it fairly soon. We might have to have like a little, you know, something that can keep everybody back, a little buffer zone between each other. So I don't know how we're going to do that. Like, we have some spiky jackets or something. I don't know.
We could pass out really big hats, and because the size of the hat you can only get for so cool. I don't know.
We need a sombrero. Let's make it a bit of Mexican or something. Yeah, you know.
There you go. We Cinco de Mayo every week.
That's it. That's a big celebration.
Like, this club is actually a destination club, isn't it? I mean, you've had people turn up, like, from the airport.
Absolutely.
Tell us about
that. One story that it happened to me at least 3 times that I can remember. I was doing security at the time, and I was working there during the day, and I had like a family come up to the door with their, you know, luggage, and I'm looking at them like, wow, what's about to happen here? Like, my first instinct as security is what's in the bag, you know what I'm saying? But they literally came from the airport to the club. So when they told me that, I was like, you don't want to go to your hotel first? Like, are you He was like, no, we had to come here first. And it was like, okay. And that happened like 3 times that I remember. And brought them in. I made sure, you know, the servers gave them a nice tour or whatever. They sat down, they watched TV for a while, they took pictures everywhere, and they were happy, you know what I mean? And that happens a lot. It's a lot of folks that we get from out of town, all over the place. Ohio, California, you name it, and they have to come there. And sometimes they want to tell me that in the middle of my set, like, you know, hey, I'm from, and I'm trying to change records. Yeah, I'm from over here. I just had to come here. I'm like, all right, can we talk later? You know, can I finish this work right quick? You want to hear a song or something? Like, so I could, you know.
Do you know, we need to ask you this. Is there any specific nationality that requests music more than any other one? Give us that one. Tell us.
I plead the fifth. No.
Come on.
Listen, you know, I think it's more about who had the most to drink and who feels the nicest. That's who, you know. That's who approaches me the most. You know, it's not. I don't know if I would say a nationality, but I have had some people come and ask me for AC/DC while I'm playing music, and I'm like, I mean, and it was it was about 20 or more people in the group. And you know what I did?
What did you do?
I played AC/DC.
Because you know
Yes, you
that
did.
you have to love Australia. We're the people down under, and we are the ones that
Listen.
travel the most to America. We love it. Like, we have more
Exactly.
passports. Do you know that the entire, not that this is a bit of information to teach you something, but Australia actually has, people in Australia have more passports than any other per capita.
That
people.
doesn't surprise
We've
me
got to get out of
because
there.
you also have the top 10 most dangerous animals that
We're going
I
to get
said
you
I
here and
wouldn't say
take you to
that.
the beach. We're going to get you here and take you to the beach. That's what we're going to do.
Not unless I can wear combat boots. That's why they invented Uggs, you know. They invented Uggs for that, for your
stop the
your
snake
beach
bites.
your beach wildlife and your snakes and whatnot.
Oh, God.
I'm kidding.
I
You're
love
listening
it.
I'm kidding.
to.
I'm loving. I love that. I can't wait to come there. I'm
Oh,
coming
We can't
too.
wait to have you. We can't wait to
Yeah,
have
I'm
you.
coming.
And that was
I'm
beautiful.
definitely coming.
Thank
So
you
you're,
so much.
You're listening to
Absolutely.
Thank you
our
so
first guest
much,
for the New
DJ
York
Big
Minute,
Brooklyn.
DJ Big Brooklyn. One thing before we go, when you very kindly invited us after we met you at the event, you invited us to the club with to
Right.
do a bit
I
of
remember that.
searching, and I thought it's a sports bar, and I've said to Sash, I think we're going to walk in and there's going to be like peanuts on the floor and guys yelling at baseball stuff, and and you walk into this place and it is such a different vibe. It's so sophisticated, it's really classy, and there were famous people everywhere. I don't know who they were, but they were famous people, right? And I'm like, who's that person? I don't know who that is, but I think that person's famous because there's like bodyguards and there were people. It is the most incredible experience. You and your music and your whole vibe and your insight into New York City and the club scene and what life is like for you. We can't get enough of it. We'll definitely have you back on the New York Minute. And thank you for being our very first New York Minute, Sonya and Sacha, for
Thanks
your
for
guest.
having me. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so
Incredible.
much.
And if people want to follow you on social media, it's
DJ Big Brooklyn.
Please do.
Yes,
that
at DJ Big Brooklyn. That's all platforms.
All right. This is it. You are our brother.
Yep.
We love you. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you so much.
And we love New York City. Come back. It's on the way back. I can feel it. I can feel it. You know, we'll get on that plane and we'll start bringing it back.
Let it go. All right.
All right. You've been listening to
Sonya and Sacha, for real.
Bring Back Live on Live FM.
Sonya and Sacha, for real.